In the garden of Tianju's house, Tianju, who was almost frozen, was sitting in a special wheelchair and was pushed out by a young and beautiful celestial woman. "Ju, don't we do something?" the woman said worriedly as she looked at the gray and white light rushing into the void. "What else can I do?" Tianju's face, which was like ice jade, showed no change at all, except for a trace of sadness in his eyes. The woman sighed softly and said helplessly, "Our family has always been close to the emperor. If an E wins, our family's life may not be easy in the future. Whether it's Tianshu or an E, if you want to gain a foothold in the universe and keep your position as a great clan, it cannot be done by one person. No one will touch our family at this time. They still need our family," Tianju said. "But that pretty boy from Tianshuan is a close official of Emperor Tianshu. I'm afraid that the Yin family will stick to this matter and it will be detrimental to our family." The woman's face was full of worry. "No need to worry. He is him, we are us, the celestial race needs us, and besides, Ani may not be able to win," Tianju reassured. "Legend has it that Ani is the Dharma king of the space system. Heavenly magic has been neglected for so many years." The woman did not continue, but her meaning was obvious. "The legend is unbelievable. Ani has never been the Dharma king of the space system. The real Dharma king of the space system is the traitor Tianjoyo," Tianju said calmly. "Didn't you say that although Tianjoyo is from the space system, he is under an E? Otherwise, how could an E defeat Tianjoyo back then?" The woman was slightly startled. Tianju said indifferently, "In terms of talent and qualifications, Tianjoyo is the best among the celestial beings of that generation. Neither an E nor Tianshu can compare with them. If it weren't for that person's character problem, I'm afraid Tianshu would also be the best. It's hard to be emperor." It was Tianshu and an E who teamed up to defeat Tianjoyo. Even so, they could not keep him. If he was not the king of space, how could he escape? In recent years, people have been spreading rumors, saying that an E is space Dharma king, Tianjoyo is just a subordinate of Dharma king. He was defeated by an E and escaped just to cover up the scandal. That's it. The woman breathed a sigh of relief. In this way, an E is not the Dharma king of space. Even if the emperor is slacking off, he is still the Dharma king of the light line after all. An E shouldn't have any chance in this battle, right? With an Yi's temperament, how could he do something so uncertain? Tianju said, "Heavenly arts have been desolate and unruly for so many years. It is hard to say whether he still has the combat power of the past. And an E is now a dual-system heavenly magician of space and time. Although he is not a Dharma king, he has the laws of these two systems. It is already extremely powerful, but now that the two methods are combined, it may not be worse than the Dharma king, otherwise he would not choose to take action at this time. It is still difficult to predict who will win, but the Dharma king is the Dharma king after all, and the chance of winning should be better." The woman nodded slightly and said nothing more. The gray and white colors almost covered the void. Neither Tianshu nor Ani wanted to destroy the Zenith star, so they rushed into the void to fight, so that the Zenith star was not seriously injured. At this time all the major families of the Celestial clan were holding emergency meetings to discuss how to deal with this situation. Whether they should support Tianshu or an E, most families chose to remain silent and wanted to wait for the results to come out before choosing to take sides. The Tianshu emperor has been ridiculous for so many years, and to this point, he still refuses to spend money to help the Tianren tribe overcome difficulties. This makes some people who were originally inclined to the Tianshu emperor feel somewhat disappointed. Even the main family of the Tian family did not defend Tianshu emperor wholeheartedly. It is clear that Emperor Tianshu is the emperor of the celestial race, but he handed over the power of the celestial race to an E. Instead, our family did not receive much care, which made them dissatisfied with Emperor Tianshu for a long time. Of course, it goes without saying that the Yin family is an important part of the family. Most of the houses are looking towards an E in their hearts. The strength and influence of the Qi family on the zenith star is actually the lowest. Except for Qi 2, who is on the zenith star. Most of the strong men of the Qi family are guarding the outside. Because of the rebellion, Qi E is at the forefront of the battle, resisting the rebel invasion. The current situation in Zenith Star cannot be controlled by people like Qi 2 and Qi family. They are also hesitating and waiting for the result. Not to mention some other small families, even if they want to take sides, they have no ability to influence anything. The battle in the void is difficult to predict, and only a few top powerhouses such as Qi 2 and Tianju can see the clues. The Dharma King is still the Dharma King after all. Even though it has been ridiculous for so many years, the Emperor's fighting power is beyond our reach. Qi 2 praised. Father, is the Emperor going to win? Qi Zihua was overjoyed when he heard this. Although Emperor Tianshu is ridiculous, in the thousands of years since Tianshu has been in power, the Qi family has controlled most of the military power of the Tianren clan. If an E gains power, the Qi family may not be able to maintain their current power. Qi 2 shook his head slightly. It's hard to say. An E is too strong. The dual elements of time and space are rare in the world. In the imperial palace, Kongchuan looked at concubine Tian, who was packing her things, and asked blankly, "Sister, what are you doing?" Let's go now," Tian Fei said and walked out. The outcome is still undecided. Kongchuan wanted to say something else, but was interrupted by concubine Tian. If we wait until the winner is decided, it will be too late for us to leave. Our destiny cannot be in the hands of others. If the Emperor loses, we will die. If the Emperor wins, we can still come back. After saying this, the concubine Tian said without saying a word, walked out without hesitation. Kongchuan hurriedly followed, but now the teleportation stations have been closed. At this time, each family must be on high alert. It is impossible for anyone to leave through the teleportation device. Where can we go? Just follow me, Tian Fei said without looking back. In the void, Tian Shudi was wrapped in a gray shell. His thin and tall figure, plus the wings behind him, made him look like a skeleton wearing a layer of shell. "Ne, you have made a lot of progress in these years. The dual magic of time and space is indeed powerful. You are the first person under the king of magic." Tian Shudi looked at Ne coldly and said, "You are not bad. You have not regressed at all in so many years. It's a pity that you are old after all, and no longer have the glory of the past." Ne said lightly, "Even if I am not as good as before, you are still not my opponent. You will never be as good as me in this life." Tian Shudi said disdainfully, "If you can take my blow, it's not too late to say this." As Ani said this, the particles on his body rose up and turned into two six-winged seraphim-like life bases, one black and one white, and appeared in front of Ani. Two life bases of space and time, do you think you can beat me with this? The Emperor of Heavenly Art's eyes narrowed slightly. You won't know whether you can win until you try. Ani spread his hands, and two seraphim life bases, one black and one white, stretched out their hands to Ani. The moment their fingers touched Ani's fingers, they merged with Ani's body. The carapace on Ani quickly turned half black and half white. On the back of the original one pair of wings, 3 pairs of wings grew again. Also half black and half white. 2 completely different laws of power continued to flow on his body. With 2 life bases and 2 laws, Ani is better than me. Tianju sighed. The woman said, he has so many resources to help, but you can only rely on yourself. If you have his resources, your achievements will never be lower than his. There is no if in this world. He is now a dual-system heavenly law. And I am just a waste that may turn into a non-human at any time. Tianju said lightly. Ju. We still have a chance, there must be a way. The woman held Tianju's hand. Ani put his hands together, and between his hands, black and white merged into a strange ball of light. Time and space were distorted in the ball of light, making people unable to see the existence of the ball of light, but the ball of light seemed to exist in reality. Tian Shidi stared at Ani with burning eyes. The law of light continued to burst out, and the gray light gradually became brighter, making Tian Shidi shine like a star. Even the real star lost its brilliance in front of Tian Shidi. Tianshu. Let's end the cause and effect of our lives with this strike. And pushed out his hands, and the void changed color in an instant. The spectators only saw the Emperor Tianshu, who was in the prime of his life, and the light on his body was distorted. And the whole sky was distorted like a funhouse mirror. In that distorted time and space, the light law of the Emperor Tianshu could not stop the strange power of the law, and the body of the Emperor Tianshu kept changing. Everyone watched the shell on the Emperor Tianshu disappear, and his body gradually became younger, from an old man with a curtain. The gray feathers that were originally sparse gradually turned from gray to white, and the feathers gradually became fuller. The face also turned younger, the skinny chest slowly became thicker, and the muscles were full of elasticity and collagen. In a moment, the Emperor Tianshu had changed from a hairy old man to a young and handsome middle-aged man with snow-white feathers. But this change continued. The Emperor Tianshu kept getting younger and older. Rejuvenation is a good thing, but everyone knows that the current situation of Emperor Tianshu is definitely not a good thing. He is so fast in rejuvenation that he may become a baby in the end, or even directly return to the embryo. Or even return to the state before fertilization, and return to nothingness. Ani, too strong. Everyone was shocked. The power of the unity of time and space is so strong that it is beyond imagination. The light law of Emperor Tianshu, who has become young, is still blooming. Under the influence of the regression of time and space, it becomes stronger and stronger. The real immortal law is immortal and indestructible, and it cannot be broken. The laws of both sides are working. While the law of time and space makes Emperor Tianshu himself regress, his law also returns to the peak state of his youth with his body. The light law is getting stronger and stronger, bursting out with 1,000 feet of divine light, shining on Ani, and gradually melting the black and white shell on Ani's body. Both sides are persisting. Whoever can persist to the end will win. Suddenly, a blood light burst out from the body of Emperor Tian, and he turned into a bloody demon and rushed towards Ani. The blood-cursed demon, one of the two pets of the Tianren clan, was going to take advantage of Ani's exhaustion to give him a fatal blow. The blood-cursed demon turned into a bloodlight and rushed towards Ani. Almost at the same time, a beam of light flew out of Ani's body, and a pet that looked like a seraph also rushed out of the holy light and rushed towards the blood-cursed demon. The ultimate seraph, one of the two pets of the Tianren clan, burst out with terrifying holy light and greeted the blood-cursed demon. Under the influence of the law of light, the law of time and space, the bodies of the blood-cursed demon and the ultimate seraph were constantly changing, and at the same time a terrifying and strange light burst out from them. The blood dyed the void red, but the holy light seemed to purify everything in the world. For different laws of terror intertwined in the void, and unpredictable changes occurred in the next second, and all the light quickly condensed towards one place. The world seemed to have lost its sound and color, with only that little light shining in silence. The next moment, the terrifying light explosion illuminated the entire galaxy, and the planets in the galaxy were affected, shaking one after another, and even deviated from their orbits, and this was just the aftermath of the light explosion. The law shield of Zenith Star was directly blown up, and the strong men of Tian and broke through the air, protecting Zenith Star with the supreme law and resisting the impact of the terrifying power. Chi and other strong men were suspended in the void, staring at the center of the light explosion, waiting for the final result. It was not until the light explosion disappeared that they found that the blood-cursed demon and the ultimate seraph had been severely injured and their bodies had become incomplete. The blood curse demon was missing an arm and a leg, and his shell was broken in many places, and bloody liquid was constantly flowing from his body. The ultimate seraph had 3 fewer wings on his back, and the remaining 3 were broken, and even half of his face was missing. He was half kneeling in the void and motionless, and it was unknown whether he was still alive. And he was covered in blood and wounds. His carapace was completely broken, leaving only a pair of flesh and blood wings behind him. The carapace and feathers on it were gone, revealing the bloody wings. On the other side, the Heavenly Art Emperor was in a much better condition. Although his carapace was broken, his body was not seriously injured. It was relatively intact, with only some bloodstains. But his body looked much younger than before, and looked no different from an ordinary celestial being in his 20s. Puff! Ani spurted out a mouthful of blood and tried to walk towards the Emperor of Heavenly Arts, but his body was out of control. Wounds appeared all over his body, blood kept rolling out, bones snapped and broke, and his body twisted into a weird shape. Ani, I said, if you don't become a king, you will be just trash in the end. You will never be able to beat me. The Emperor of Heavenly Arts wiped the blood off his face and stared at Ani coldly. I didn't expect that I would still lose. I thought that I could win by combining the 2 methods of time and space. Ani said calmly and slowly closed his eyes. Tian, give me a quick death. Kill him. The Emperor of Heavenly Arts gave an order to the blood-cursed demon. But the blood-cursed demon moved his body, and the blood light on his body collapsed directly. He was also too seriously injured and was on the verge of death. He was no longer able to fight. Well, let this Emperor send you off personally and end the cause and effect between you and me. The Emperor of Heavenly Arts said, gathering light in his hand and about to hit Anyi's head. Boom! The light burst out, but it failed to hit Anyi. A figure stood in front of Anyi and took the attack from Emperor Tian. Chi too. Everyone was shocked. They didn't expect that at this time, Chi too would actually stand up and block the attack for Anyi. Chi too, do you also want to betray me? Emperor Tianshu said with a gloomy look, staring at Chi too. Tianshu, you are licentious and have done all kinds of evil things. It's okay to kill loyal people. Now my clan is at the critical moment of life and death, but you are still selfish and disregard the overall situation. If you continue to be the emperor of my clan will be exterminated. For the sake of my Tianren clan, please sacrifice yourself today. Chi Tu said passionately, everyone, what are you waiting for? Do you have to wait until the time when your family is destroyed and your clan is exterminated? You are also worthy of saying these words to me? You really don't know how to live or die. It seems that I am too good to you at ordinary times, so good that you forget who is the master of the Tianren clan. Emperor Tianshu looked gloomy, staring at Chi Tu coldly, and the law of light rose from his body again. For the future of my Tianren clan, I am willing to die. Chi Tu said, and a terrifying law power burst out from his body. The law power vibrated in the void. After this attack, Chi Tu was not killed, and was not even injured. He just took a few steps back. Everyone saw it clearly and reacted. Although Anyi was defeated, Tian Shidi was also affected. He was injured by the law of time and space, and his body had returned to the peak state. The current Tian Shidi is the Tian Shidi in his youth, and the Tian Shidi who has not yet reached the invincible state. I will help you. One figure after another rushed into the void and fought against Tian Shidi, together with Chi Tu. Okay. Today, this emperor will kill all of you traitors and villains. Tian Shidi was furious, and light burst out from his body again, and he brutally killed those important officials of the Tianren clan. But the current Tian Shidi is no longer the Tian Shidi before. Although his power is strong, he can't suppress these immortals. Your Majesty, I'll protect you. An immortal rushed into the void and fought side by side with the Emperor of Heavenly Arts, and was caught in a melee for a while. Are we going to do nothing? The woman who pushed Tianju said with a complicated look at Tianju's back. It's no longer necessary. The Heavenly Arts are doomed. Tianju said calmly, push me back and give orders that no one is allowed to participate in this matter. Those who violate the order will be killed on the spot. The woman nodded slightly and pushed Tianju back to the room. Although someone was protecting the Emperor of Heavenly Arts, he was ultimately no match for the strength of Chi Tu and others. The Emperor of Heavenly Arts' ability was obviously getting weaker and weaker. Everyone could see that the Emperor of Heavenly Arts was not doing well. The laws of time and space on his body were still working, his body was still getting younger, and his strength would become weaker and weaker. Your Majesty, go away. And Lu was eager to protect his master. After blocking an attack for the Emperor of Heavenly Arts, he pushed the Emperor of Heavenly Arts away. I will crush all of you to pieces. Tianshu Emperor gritted his teeth, summoned a strange immortal mount, and reached out to pull Lu up. The mount let out a cry, spread its 4 hooves, and ran wildly in the void. The surrounding space suddenly twisted, and its figure disappeared in an instant. Chi Tu and others wanted to stop it, but were unable to stop it. They cursed angrily. That old thief ran fast. He was injured by the law of time and space, and it's useless if he doesn't die. And two walked towards An excitedly, saluted and said, Dean. No. Lord Tiandi. From now on, my Tianren clan will rely on you. And he supported his body and looked around. The battle had stopped. No one on both sides said anything. Some people saluted and shouted the name of Tiandi in unison. When Lin Shen teleported over, the war had already ended. Strange. Why is there a little deviation in the teleportation? Yan Ryu looked around and muttered to herself. Teleported to the wrong place? Lin Shen asked hurriedly. No, the planet is right, but the position is a little off, more than 100 kilometers away from the expected coordinates. Yan Ryu said. That's not bad. Lin Shen breathed a sigh of relief. It was just more than 100 kilometers, which was just a blink of an eye for their level. Yan Ryu nodded, and said nothing more, preparing to fly with Lin Shen from this planet with the behavior of Mu Lin to Zenith Star. Before the two of them got up, they suddenly saw a burst of light in the sky, and the fluctuation of the law followed. Is there anyone fighting here? Have the rebels already fought here? Lin Shen was surprised and called Yan Ryu to go over and take a look. Kong Chuan, then the other one. Is Tian Fei. Lin Shen got closer and immediately saw the people in the battle. One of them was covered with mosaics. The mosaics that could appear in such a place should only be Tian Fei, not to mention that the person fighting side by side with her was Kong Chuan. Tian Fei's ability was unexpectedly strong. Lin Shen thought that Tian Fei was just a tool of Tian Shu Emperor, but he didn't expect that she was so strong. She was also at the Nirvana level, and was much stronger than Kong Chuan. Their opponent was an immortal. Tian Fei was the main force that could fight until now. Of course, the immortal didn't want to kill them and obviously wanted to capture them alive. Tian Fei, don't resist anymore. Come back with me honestly. Maybe there is a way to survive. And 21 bombarded Tian Fei and Kong Chuan, beating them to no way to retreat, and stared at Tian Fei with a smile and said, Get your mother's balls off. Kong Chuan saw his appearance and knew that he had no good intentions, and he tried his best to shoot out the divine light. But in front of the immortals, Kong Chuan's nirvana power was obviously not enough, and was easily dispersed by N21. N21 seemed to be playing a cat-and-mouse game, invading step by step, but not killing. Tian Fei held a feather fan in her hand, waving a colorful divine light, and was able to disperse N21's power with the law attached, which was a bit incredible. Tian Fei and Kong Chuan were actually hunted down by the Yin family. I'm afraid there is a big problem with the Zenith Star. Lin Shen's mind was not on them. He guessed that there must be something wrong with the Emperor of Heavenly Arts, otherwise why would he let Tian Fei suffer such a disaster? Tian Fei is an important tool for surviving the death calamity. Unless it is absolutely necessary, the Emperor of Heavenly Arts will never give up on her. There should be something wrong with the Zenith Star. Should we still go? Yan Ryu also guessed something. Let's save them first, Lin Shen said after a pause. If the Emperor of Heavenly Arts is finished, we may be in big trouble if we save her now. Yan Ryu reminded. Lin Shen knew there would be trouble, but Tian Fei had the fire seed on her body. He would never give up on Ni Tian Fangu and had to get it. His path to promotion was difficult, and it was hard to say whether he would have the chance to become immortal in the future. He was still counting on Tian Fangu to help him change his fate. Window _Taboola equals window _Taboola dot push mode thumbs feed 01 container Taboola below article thumbnail 300x250 placement. Below article thumbnail 300 by 250 target _type mix. Tian Fei had exhausted all her means, but it was still difficult to escape from N21. Instead, Kong Chuan was injured by N21 and fell on the planet. Tian Fei had to fly to the planet and stand in front of Kong Chuan. "Leave me alone, you go first." Kong Chuan reluctantly flew up, trying to push Tian Fei away. He felt that he had caused concubine Tian to suffer, otherwise with concubine Tian's ability, she might have been able to escape from N21's hands. At this time, Kong Chuan had already made plans to sacrifice himself to buy time for concubine Tian to escape, and he could delay it for a while. It's useless. Our traces have been discovered. Even if we are not caught now, we do not have the ability to cross the starry sky to other galaxies. Sooner or later, we will still be unable to escape. Tian Fei saw through Kong Chuan's thoughts and shook her head slightly. Kong Chuan naturally also knew that if they could hide temporarily without being discovered, they might change their appearance and leave the Zenith star from the teleportation station. Now that it has been discovered, the chance of escape is very slim. I can escape for a while. Kong Chuan still wanted to fight N21 desperately. Seeing the two people like this, N21 chuckled and said, "You don't have to be like this. You pushed me to give way. No one can leave. Don't say you can't escape. Even if you are allowed to escape, you will not care about the life and death of the Peacock clan." "Really? When you leave, the Peacock family will be buried with you." When Kong Chuan and Tian Fei heard what N21 said, their expressions suddenly became extremely ugly. They looked at each other and no longer had any thoughts of escaping. They fought with all their strength against N21, thinking that they would both die together. It's just that their power cannot go against the sky. Not long after, Kong Chuan was slapped away by N21. In order to save Kong Chuan, Tian Fei also caught the flaw of N21 and was knocked down on the planet together. "Fortunately, it's me who is here today. If an ordinary immortal comes to capture you, he may not be able to capture you." Concubine Tian is indeed someone who has fought with the old thief of heavenly magic. The body of Nirvana can fight with me like this. It's been a long time, which is rare in the world. N21 slowly descended, looked at the injured Tian Fei, and said with a smile, "It's a pity for a genius like you to die. I can't bear it. Well, if you are willing to serve me once, I will treat you as if I have never seen you today." "Fuck you, I'll kill you." Kong Chuan held on and tried to rush forward to fight, but his waist was about to be broken, and he fell down just as he rushed up. N21 wanted to capture Tian Fei alive, but Kong Chuan didn't necessarily want her alive. In addition, his strength was not as good as Tian Fei's, and his injuries were far more serious than Tian Fei's. Concubine Tian looked at N21 coldly and said, "You are just a dog. How dare you disobey what your master tells you to do? And bark randomly here." N21's face turned gloomy when he heard this. He really didn't dare to make the decision to let Tian Fei go without authorization. He just wanted to take advantage of it, but he didn't expect to be told off by Tian Fei, and his face suddenly became a little worried. You really want to seek death? And 21 said coldly. Even if I want to die, do you dare to kill me? Tian said contemptuously. And 21 laughed when he heard this. Yes, I do not dare to kill you, and I do have to bring you back alive, but I can kill him. Concubine Tian's expression froze slightly, and then she said coldly. If he dies, you can't take Concubine Tian away alive. Then let's give it a try. And 21 didn't like Tianfei at all, and he was in front of them in a flash. Bang bang. Tianfei was repulsed by and 21, while Kong Chuan was grabbed by the neck and lifted up by and 21. Concubine Tian's eyes, which had always been expressionless, suddenly changed, but instead of panicking, she became more determined. She was determined to die together. Let's go quickly. Kong Chuan struggled to squeeze out a few words, his neck was almost broken, and his bones cracked. Master 21, please show mercy. A voice suddenly sounded on the planet. Tianfei and An 21 were both slightly startled. They turned their eyes to the direction where the sound came from, only to see two figures flying slowly towards this side. Judging from their appearance, they should not be from the celestial race. But at this time, besides people from the celestial race, who would appear here? Lin Shen? Tianfei saw the face of the man in front of her, clearly, and was slightly startled. She didn't expect to see Lin Shen here. I thought it was who it was. It turned out to be Dean Tian of Tianchi Academy, the loser around Tianshu Emperor. You are here. I thought you had already received the news and were hiding outside and refused to come back. And 21. When he saw Lin Shen, he felt happy. The people of the Yin family had long been unhappy with Lin Shen, a bitch. They thought that Lin Shen was not in Tianchi Academy, so they couldn't deal with Lin Shen. This time, who knew that they would meet Lin Shen here? 21 Sir, you are joking. You have already said that I am the Dean of Tianchi Academy. I have finished my official business on a business trip. Where can I go if I don't come back? Lin Shen flew nearby with Yen Ruyu and said with a smile. You were the Dean of Tianchi Academy before, but you won't be anymore. But you came back just in time, so you don't have to go to Tianchi Academy. Come back with me and go to jail. If you are lucky, you may not have to die. And 21 said contemptuously. Lin Shen helped Emperor Tianshu make money, and also helped Tianshuan take away the Yin family's interests in the giant ring. And 21 didn't like him at all. After saying that, without waiting for Lin Shen to speak again, he directly struck out with a palm to kill Lin Shen and the woman who was following him. And 21 only knew that Lin Shen had good talent, but not good level. As an immortal in the Earth-Law realm, it was easy for him to take down Lin Shen. But when he struck out with his palm, he felt a blur in front of his eyes. The tall woman standing behind Lin Shen unexpectedly appeared in front of Lin Shen and smashed his palm power with one palm. At the same time, a jade palm print was printed on him at an incredible speed. Immortal. And 21 was horrified. And didn't care about much. He loosened his hand holding Kong Chuan's neck and retreated at a high speed. Only then did he barely avoid the unreachable jade palm print. Who are you? And 21 stared at Yen Ruyu, and a red shell appeared on him, wrapping his body. Lin Shen stretched out his hand and grabbed Kong Chuan's body. He took out a bottle of medicine and handed it to him. Can you drink it yourself? Dean. I can drink it myself. Kong Chuan was surprised. he didn't expect Lin Shen to appear here and bring in immortal strongman to save them. Empress Tianfei, are you okay? Lin Shen stopped caring about Kong Chuan and looked at Tianfei and asked. Tianfei looked at Lin Shen strangely, wondering why he was here. It's okay, Dean Tian, why are you here? I heard that Empress Tianfei was in trouble, so I came to save her. I wonder what happened. Lin Shen asked. Window, _tabula equals window _tabula dot push, mode, thumbs feed 01, container, tabula, below article thumbnail, 300x250, placement, below article thumbnail, 300 by 250, target _type. Mix. And 21 laughed when he heard this. Lin Shen, you don't know what happened yet. I'm afraid you can only be a confused ghost when you die. It's okay to tell you that the old thief Tian Shu has abdicated. Now the emperor of my Tianren clan is an E. Lin Shen had expected it long ago, and he was not surprised, but happy when he heard it. Since the emperor of Tian Shu was driven off the stage, he didn't have to take the risk to take the fire from the Tianfei. Lin Shen even had the urge to thank an E, and then said to the emperor of Tian Shu, you can go with peace of mind, I will take care of your wife and daughter. But on second thought, the emperor of Tian Shu was generally good to him. If an E came to power, he might be in trouble as the dean of Tianshi Academy. Where is the emperor of Tian Shu now? Lin Shen asked. In fact, he didn't have any loyalty to the emperor of Tian Shu. To be honest, he had never seen the true face of the emperor of Tian Shu, and he was not very familiar with the emperor of Tian Shu. If an E was willing, Lin Shen would also be willing to surrender, even if he was not allowed to be the dean of Tianshi Academy. Unfortunately, the Yin family would not let him go. So there was no need for him to surrender. He has been dead for a long time. You should go down to accompany your master. And 21 said and launched an attack again, but unlike before, and 21's law burst out with powerful power. The 10-speed ghost god law of the earth law realm made and 21's speed burst to an unimaginable degree. In just a moment, and 21's figure was divided into 10, attacking Yan Ruyu and Lin Shen from 10 different directions. These are not phantoms, but in 21's real body. This is the powerful ability given to him by the 10-speed ghost god law. 10 and 21 attacked the two people from different directions with 10 different moves. 9 of them attacked Yan Ruyu, and only 1 attacked Lin Shen. Tianfei and Kong Chuan looked at this scene with some worry, wondering if the immortal beside Lin Shen could block an 21's attack. N 21's 10-speed ghost god law is equivalent to sending out 10 and 21's to besiege one immortal. Immortals in the general realm of the law may not be able to completely block it. As soon as this thought came to their minds, they saw Yan Ruyu's jade hands slapping back and forth, attacking and 21 from different directions. 1 by 1 was slapped in the face, and was slapped 9 times in a row. The shell on the face was broken and the face was slapped and twisted. The figure that rushed towards Lin Shen was also stopped by Yan Ruyu with a slap. And 21's body was slapped and spun in the sky like a gyroscope, triggering a huge tornado. Tianfei and Kong Chuan were surprised and happy. They were happy that there was a rescue, but they were surprised that there was such a powerful immortal around Lin Shen, and they didn't know where he came from. Tianfei observed Yan Ruyu's power. She couldn't figure out when there was such a powerful female immortal of a foreign race in the Tianren clan. Judging from the way she easily suppressed an 21, she must be a strong person in the realm of heavenly law. Tian Fei had already thought highly of Yan Ruyu, but she still didn't dare to think that Yan Ruyu would be a true immortal king of law. Do you want to spare his life? Yan Ruyu saw N21 fleeing in a panic and turned to Lin Shen and asked. Let him go. Lin Shen didn't want to break up with the Tianren clan completely. There are still his people in the Tianchi Academy, and Tianquan is also a blood relative of the Tianjue family. If he really does something extreme, I'm afraid they won't have an easy time on the Zenith Star. I didn't expect that the Emperor of Tianxu would be seized. I have to find a way to get Ouyang Yudu out. Lin Shen was afraid that the people of the Yin family couldn't find him and would attack Ouyang Yudu. Empress Tian Fei, you have exposed your whereabouts. Now it is impossible to hide anymore. Why don't you go to Zenith Star with us? We will leave openly from the teleportation station of Zenith Star. Lin Shen turned and said to Tian Fei. Tian Fei and Kong Chuan looked at each other, and both felt that Lin Shen was crazy. It was already so late, and he still dared to go to Zenith Star. Did he really think that he could do whatever he wanted on Zenith Star? Just because he had an immortal by his side and could defeat N21? Even if he was a strong man in the heavenly law, he was nothing on Zenith Star. Dean Tian, I'm afraid you don't know the current situation of Zenith Star. Tian Fei told Lin Shen everything that happened on Zenith Star, so that he knew that the current Zenith Star was a dead end for Lin Shen. The Emperor of Heavenly Arts was so fierce that An, who was said to be the best master of the celestial race, couldn't beat him. It's a pity that he was too evil and lost the hearts of the people, otherwise he wouldn't have lost the position of Emperor of Heaven. Lin Shen sighed in his heart. Zenten Star is now like a dragon's den and a tiger's lair. For us. Let's escape into the starry sky first, and then make plans. Kong Chuan said on the side. Lin Shen thought for a while and said, how about this, let's make a secret agreement, you go hide in the starry sky first, we'll go to Zenith Star first, and pick you up after we come out. Dean Tian, if you go to Zenith Star now, aren't you walking into a trap? Why do you have to go? Kong Chuan was straightforward and asked directly. Not really, I'm the Dean of Tianchi Academy, the official department certified by the Tianren clan. Even if Ani wants to kill me, he must have a reason. I haven't done anything wrong, so he can't do anything to me. Lin Shen just said this. In fact, with Yan Ruyu by his side, there are many strong people on Zenith Star, but they may not dare to stop them. If it were before, Lin Shen really didn't dare to go. But now, the Emperor of Heavenly Arts was injured and fled, and Ani himself was seriously injured. It is not so easy to recover. The two top masters have no fighting power. Now is the weakest time for Zenith Star. In the previous chaos, those immortals could not bear different degrees of injuries. If they don't go now, when will they go? Although Lin Shen and Yan Ruyu are not strong enough to fight against so many immortals, the celestial race will not sacrifice the lives of so many immortals to kill them. As long as Yan Ruyu reveals his identity as the King of Dharma, the celestial race will definitely not dare to fight with a King of Dharma at this time. That would be a huge blow to the celestial race. If Ani really dares to do that, the celestial race is basically not far from being eliminated from the universe. Lin Shen is determined that Ani can't do anything to him at this time, so he has to take this opportunity to go to Zenith Star to get Ouyang Yudu out, otherwise who knows how those people will deal with Ouyang Yudu. Tian Fei looked at Lin Shen with a complicated expression. She hadn't seen Lin Shen for a long time and felt that Lin Shen today seemed a little different from before. In the past, whether in front of Emperor Tian or in front of her, Lin Shen seemed a little timid, as if he had no opinion at all, but today she saw a different Lin Shen. "Let's go with Dean Tian." Tian Fei suddenly said this, which surprised Lin Shen.